So for the past 2 months I've been using the fitness app Push by Delaney, who has to be one of the most shredded guys on YouTube, and even more impressively has somehow managed to avoid being cancelled despite having the username ShredBundy on Instagram. So in today's video I'm going to give you a full tour of the app as well as give you my final thoughts and review on whether the app is worth it or not. Gonna make it look at least like I partake in fitness. Now the app begins by asking you a lot of questions so it can generate your custom workout plan. These questions are very specific and you can tell Joe has put a lot of thought and effort into this. Detailed questions like how many days can you train, your training experience, muscles you'd like to focus on, how much sleep you get, as well as how good is your stress. These are important factors when it comes to your training and should impact the program that is generated for you. For example, you could be an experienced lifter, but if you have poor sleep and high stress, then your volume should be adjusted accordingly. Once you finish the questions, your program's automatically generated. Now the app is hypertrophy focused and all the programs produced are full body workouts. Despite seeing numerous videos scientifically backed explaining the benefits of full body training from the likes of Jeff Nippard and even Joe himself, it is the only training split I had yet to try, and spoiler alert, it's now my favourite type of training. Initially you may look at your training volume for the day and think, is that it? However, once you start working out like this, it makes so much sense. Rather than spending a whole session just blasting your chest, for example bench press, incline press, flies, and then some tricep isolations when your triceps literally have nothing left to give, you train the full body. Every exercise works a different body part, which essentially means that you're fresh for every single exercise. I've never trained isolations with so much intensity, and I've experienced DOMs similar to when I first started training over 7 years ago. The full body split also means that you don't have to spend the entire week psyching yourself up for the dreaded leg day, which is nice. Joe has also included some science-backed info in the sources section, explaining how the programs are generated for volume, frequency, progressive overload, etc. This is a nice touch as rather than just following a program blindly, you can learn the fundamentals of programming for yourself. How does that saying go? Give a man a workout plan and he'll work out for a day. Teach a man how to make his own workout program and he'll work out for life. Once you start your workout, your training is broken down into 3 phases: strength, stabilized compounds, and pump. Each exercise comes with a video demonstration that also highlights the body part that you should be working, helping you build a better mind-muscle connection. You can also see your previous session by holding down the previous button. You can also see your progression with that exercise as well as switch for another exercise if you prefer. Once you've completed your set, the rest time counter automatically begins. Each week the app will predict your new weight, rep and sets for the workout, and to be honest, from my experience this is pretty spot on and works perfectly for progressive overload. When you've finished, it will tell you how much weight you lifted for the session as well as what body parts should be growing, which is also a cool feature. Right, now to the final review. Starting with the negatives now, these negatives are going to be finicky and they're also very similar to the negatives I had with the Morsi app review, but they're negatives nonetheless. I'd love the rest time counter to have some kind of beep or vibrate when your rest time is over. As it doesn't, I find myself constantly checking my phone in between sets and it really helps me lose focus and takes me out of the zone. Also, as I work out at a busy gym, I do change quite a few of the exercises generated for me. However, each week it automatically resets to the generated exercise, and being a full body program, it can actually be confusing to even remember what you did the previous week. So I'd love it if it just automatically generated your last workout for that session rather than the automatically generated one. And third and finally, I know the programs are AI generated, but I had some exercises like calves which were in 2 consecutive days, which is definitely not optimal from a recovery standpoint. I think it would be good if you could pick different days or move your days around to help avoid this, or if one day you just fancy doing a completely different day rather than having to follow the program in such a linear fashion. But to be honest, that's all the faults I could find with the program and I was being pretty nitpicky with those. The app costs £15 a month or £90 for the year, which once again I think is pretty similar pricing to the Morsi app. Now it has a nice user face and simple aesthetics, and more impressively, I didn't have a single glitch using the app over 2 months, which nowadays is pretty impressive. If you're someone who is serious about making hypertrophy games, I highly recommend checking this app out. It has a 7-day free trial, so if you're on the fence, you can just give it a go. Anyway, that's going to be it for another review. See you in the next one.
Delaney is my hero.